Hello, everybody. Hi, welcome. Ahoy. Welcome to Burning Crowns, a burning role-playing game. I'm your host and Gamemaster, EricVulgaris on everything. And with me are my three players, and I see how Sam has twisted and changed his camera without me realizing it. You have a square camera now.
Oh yeah, I thought I mentioned it. I tried to make it so that I wasn't a disembodied head anymore.
Oh, we like your disembodied headness. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, so I'm doing great. I'm ready to jump into this, so let's just go around the horn, see how everyone's doing, and then we can talk about our beliefs and start playing some more role-playing games. So let's go just clockwise. Mason, how are you?
Thank you, Eric. I'm quite fine. I'm doing extraordinary circumstances considered. We are planning the celebratory video of our 100 subscribers on Charisma to AC, and we're planning. We're gonna play a celebratory one-shot of Made RPG, which is gonna be hilarious.
Oh,
Are you dressing up?
I don't think so, because we generally speaking don't use webcams. So I mean, we could, right? We could dress up just for that reason. But yeah, we're gonna be playing some Made. I've played that game before. It's actually quite fun and weirdly well made.
it really is. It's actually a surprisingly well-made game. All right, cool. I'm excited for that. And just remind everybody who you're playing today.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be taking on the role of Mason, our idealistic young sorceress growing into their place in the world. And I guess should I run over my beliefs while we're at it?
Yeah, let's do it. That sounds like
right.
a good idea.
I'm looking at the beliefs. In my journey of self-discovery, I have now stepped onto a path. This path has taken me to New Stedman. In a place such as this, I must be able to find something that will shed lights on the vanishing. The vanishing referring to an event in the fiction. It is folly to strive to carry the weight of the world on your own. As suspected, the Nile Marshes plays home to the supernatural, and I need to expand my talents. I will seek out a teacher capable of instructing me in the arcane. And lastly, secrets are the blood of mystery. Mystery is the root of fate itself. Demetrius unveiled to me the existence of a secret tome hidden in the Abadarian vaults. I wanted secrets. I will convince Demetrius to assist me in getting to it.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Those are good ones. Okay, and then your instincts are the same?
Yeah, same instincts as, every time.
Cool. All right, then. That's awesome. Thank you. Let's go over to Sam, who's whizzing full on Twitter and is playing Demetrius Urtova. So, what's up?
Hello. I am Sam indeed. Whizzing full on Twitch. I'm hoping to maybe start streaming some games next week, so keep an eye out. I'll probably be posting on the Discord there. Other than that, I'm very excited to play. That's about all I got. I had a pretty big episode last time, so I'm going to be trying to figure out how to turn that all into something I can use here. I'm going to be playing Father Demetrius Antonin Lucian Arseni Sertova, who is the faithful priest of Abadar. My beliefs are that only the strong well shelters humanity from the storm. Abadar has rewarded my faith. I must not let the bureaucrats in his church weasel out of this. They shall formally declare me the Lord's prophet and Swan his chosen. Belief number 2. It appears my cousin is quite taken with Count Swan. I will ensure that this blessed union between our houses goes smoothly and uncontested. And third is, I am done with Mason's games. It is time for her to realize she is not nearly as savvy as she thinks she is and pick a side. Did you want instincts too?
Yeah. Just a quick little reminder, just so we have them.
Yep. I always have my doctoring supplies on me. I always quote relevant religious parables, and I always assume signs of the apocalypse.
Yes. Excellent. Thank you. Cool. All right, AP.
I'm Arthur Perkins, also known as AP Gaming Real. I also play James. Is that what we're calling it now? We're jaming?
Yep.
Allow me to tell you about Count Ronald Swan and the things he believes in. Not just money, but also I doubt Mason appreciated being locked up like that, but she's not cognizant of realpolitik. If she is to hold the position she desires, it's time to discuss conditions of service. My blossoming relationship with the Queen deserves equal measures of romance and respect. I must bring her a prize of support in my confirmation as Prince Consort. With the shifting state of capital politics, Drusilla Ham will return to leverage our relationship. This open door to Lebeda must be leveraged for peace in the capital, troops from my future army, and support for a Sertovan queen. I need Drusilla's support to get further meetings down the line.
God, that's
I
so
hope
good.
I actually answered those ones correctly. Did I?
Yeah, I think so.
Graf Ronald. I'm feeling so German now. I'd rather be Margraf. My instincts are, I always assume Demetrius will back my plans. I always offer deals before the knives come out and never allow my dreams to remain dreams.
I still don't know how that instinct will work.
It doesn't matter. I'll make it work.
It kind of matters. Matters a little bit.
I'll make it work.
It does
All
a
right,
little
listen.
bit.
I wanted to announce, by the way, I was really appreciative of the new options on EricVulgaris.com. You should head there immediately because at EricVulgaris.com, you can get a 10% off code towards getting your own noble title for the Principality of Sealand. This
Really?
is a micronation that is an oil platform off the coast of England, and Eric has negotiated 10% off of noble titles. Why pay £75 to be a count like Ronald Swan when you can pay a simple £67.5?
I don't know. Why would anyone do that?
EricVulgaris.com. There's so much
Passing
there.
the
While you're
deals
there,
on to you.
while you're there, why not read some Fiasco actual plays?
I'm gonna go do that now. Be right back.
All right. Oh, I love you guys. All right. So we're. Oh my God! I totally. Hold on. Let's permit. I have links disabled for everyone, and so that's why I think.
Yeah,
So
I
people
got timed out with the Angela Merkel pick.
Yeah. The things we do to see a picture of Angela Merkel. But seriously.
I mean, the NSA will just tap her phone, you know?
Yeah.
Oy.
Okay. Cool.
Oy vey.
So, we left off last week on the amazing scene of, I guess, all of
I mean,
the for
Demetrius with a chain around his neck.
I was gonna say the Demetrius with the chain around the neck, and what were we calling the all the hangmen with you? Or didn't we the chained ones? Oh yeah, we call them the chained ones. I wrote it down on Roll20 because I'm smart. Yeah, they're all alive when they should have been killed, and this was a gigantic miracle by you.
It worked out.
So I think though we're going to move forward in time just a little bit, because I think the immediate ramifications of that aren't going to be. I don't think there's like really much anything else really like to play that through unless there's something you guys immediately wanted to do. And I think we're gonna say like maybe it's been like 2 days or something later, like basically enough time where things have died down a little bit and things are getting ready to move again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Me and Mason talked about a scene that we wanted to do, but that could be 2 days later or a day later or however long.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's no rush.
Is this a strategy game scene?
Yeah. So I really want to do that one, but real quick, I just want to make sure also that we don't forget that Count Ronald, you were pointed to like at the moment of triumph by Demetrius Sertova, you as well were lifted up, right, as sort of the chosen one. All right, so I feel like that's an extremely important detail that we should not neglect to mention.
It wasn't enough for Demetrius to have one bullseye painted on his chest.
No.
He needed two.
No, but it's very, very interesting. Okay.
I
Great.
mean, the last group who came at me got ashamed because I ended up becoming the chosen one. So I don't know who wants to go next, but I don't know. I'll probably just become what's bigger than the chosen one. I don't know where to go from here, Mason. Why don't you help me get there?
A god?
You need to become the
The
Beatles.
god himself.
I get faith 10 and I just ascend to serve at Abadar's side.
Yeah. You come back as Count Ronald the White.
Let's be
My
honest,
white
he's
shade
already
resources.
plenty white.
Yeah, you white shade.
There's nothing I cannot afford.
Yeah. So.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah. Sir, we have no more wood to burn. Just burn the money. Just do it.
Funny.
Burn the script. Doesn't
Come
matter.
back as the god of cash, white shaded
Yeah.
resource die, and an instinct about always having wads of cash spilling from your pockets.
Yeah.
Ha.
Okay. All right, but seriously, let's do the strategy game scene. So lay it out for us. Where are we?
I think probably either like Demetrius or Mason's rooms, I would guess.
What does Mason's room look like? Because that's the scene.
Yeah, I mean,
We're not in. Well, here's a question actually. Maybe I'm just gonna make a declarative statement, and I want to hear if you guys want to either maybe be like, actually, we should drill down into this, or we can just hand wave it. Remember, like Mason got kicked out of the castle.
I do remember that actually. By
But
some
I feel like
God.
after the period of events, is this something you would have hand waved? I feel like you have that clout now, Demetrius. But it's
I probably would have tried to like make sure she had a place, but maybe we're like in my rooms because we're trying not to draw too much attention to the fact that she didn't get kicked out. The other solution I would think of is like, I mean, Swan made a rule to buy a house, so like you could just go stay there.
yeah, technically those townhouses
Whoa.
are there.
I bought more than one house.
Yeah, you
I
bought-
bought several houses, and if you need one, you can borrow one for the time being.
This was a
So
monopoly.
I'm
game.
going to challenge your statement, Eric, by saying that some scrub guard kicked me out of the house, although I am in fact a guest of Demetrius Sortova of the Sortovan line of present rulers. Also, he elected to kick me out of the castle on his authority. On the day that I came to the Queen Regent and informed her that her brother was scheduled for an execution, thereby prompting her to attempt to save his life. So, I don't know. Like, does this guy get up in my business if I try to enter the castle again? And if so, does he have a leg to stand on?
No, I feel like they're gonna. Don't ask, don't tell. They don't really want to worry about it. I feel like you've served your case. I think they're gonna ignore it. But maybe at a time of their choosing, they could invoke it again, right?
Yeah, feel free.
You're very much in a unwritten or unspoken level of permission available. So yeah, so we're going to actually Demetrius's house, I guess, right? Your room. No, this is your this is your room in the capital. This is like your house. This is like where you grew up, probably.
Yeah, this is where Demetrius lives. Like, I'm imagining it as being kind of like a suite of rooms in the castle that like his cousin gave him when like the whole Sertova family moved to the capital. And I'm thinking it's like surprisingly like sparsely decorated. Like he just doesn't have that many things.
It's like a very austere stone room.
Is this because you're like an ascetic religious type, or which doesn't really?
I think it's more to do just with like he hasn't like paid enough attention to like decorate his room. It's kind of like when you go into like a young bachelor's apartment and they have like a couch, a TV, and like literally nothing else in the apartment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of how it is. And he doesn't spend a lot of time at home because like he's traveling and he's speaking to people in the church and he's doing this and that and the other.
Okay. So whose game set is this?
This is mine.
Okay. Cool. So then maybe we just start the scene with you guys looking over the game board.
Yeah.
Sure. Maybe like mid game or something like that.
That seems like a good starting it in medias res.
Yeah. Right. So we start with the camera like side panning over, and then you seeing you guys like deep in thought. Are you playing some kind of like chess? Is that what it is?
I have described it on my character sheet as shogi-esque, meaning that it is definitely like chess.
Yeah. Okay.
So a game of capturing pieces.
Yeah. It's called King of Kings, I've noted down.
Should we make the roll to see who's like wins before? Because I don't think Demetrius, I think like for the first game or two while he's like learning the game, he probably doesn't really like talk about much other than like the rules of the game and like really trying to get a handle of it.
Sounds fine to me. We could like have the conversation.
I think we have to ask this question before you make any rolls here. What's the point of making this roll? What are you trying to do here? Are you trying to learn the game, or are you trying to beat him?
I'm trying to. I mean, I'm playing the game. I'm trying to learn the game, and obviously, I'm a competitive enough fellow that I'm trying to beat him, right, or beat her.
Oh.
Okay.
Whether she's trying to beat me is probably the question, because it's whether she's trying to teach me or she's just trying to beat me and let me learn, I guess.
Or the Japanese game design approach.
Yeah.
I don't reward you for doing the right thing. I punish you for your ignorance.
Exactly.
Approach to learning. For martial arts, Dark Soul-like games, anything. Yeah.
That is the philosophy we're dealing with here. I'm going to teach you the fine and well thought out school of playing this board game by crushing you into a fine paste repeatedly.
Get good. The get good strategy of how it's easy. Just get good.
So I'm just going to be rolling perception, right? Is that what it's
I think that's the root of strategy games.
I'm guessing.
Perception or will.
Is it half perception will, actually?
It's perception or will
in front of me right now.
Okay.
It's perception / will, so when you roll it, beginner's luck, you pick either.
Yeah, so I'll take perception. I'll set your ob because it would or do you want to set my ob because it doubles for me?
I don't mind.
Is this a versus test?
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be, I think.
Sure. And I want to know, Niran, what is your intentions here? Are you really trying to teach him this game?
So I think Mason considers this more like a statement. This is we've been brought into this room. There's been a kind of tense silence, and I think Dimitri is not electing to talk to me as he's learning the game. Is kind of like a method of setting the tone for who's going to be on top in the following conversation.
Yeah. Okay.
So Mason is like playing into it and be like, no, you played this way and this way. Are we playing for real now? Okay, now I'm going to try.
So you're both are really kind of staring over this, and I think you're kind of slowly moving some pieces both back and forth, and now make your roll and see the result of that.
Yeah. And I think because Mason wants to be a good sport about it, I don't feel like I'm going to try and argue for fictional positioning. I'm just rolling the skill.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah,
but are you making this as like an intention to give yourself like an advantage in the next whatever you guys are doing?
Yeah, that's a good point. So maybe I would throw in a bit of something.
Yeah.
I mostly just want to see how badly Demetrius gets beaten, right? Because that's going to set the tone for what he's going to start the way he's going to start the conversation.
Okay. Well, let's see. You may not lose. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I have 6 dice to throw at this. I have high perception. Do you want
to?
Doubled.
You have a shot at beating me because I'm not trying to fork anything. So let's do it.
Is the obstacle doubled based on the results of a versus test?
So the way I usually handle this is I would have the person who's rolling a skill roll first, because then I can double his as my op.
Sounds fine.
That makes sense. Also, that would just be fictionally Mason setting up like the attack strategy or whatever, the formation of whatever, the chess game. He commits exactly.
I like that.
I think actually,
game screen.
I just realized that. Okay, so Demetrius is being quiet. I think Mason is actually talking as they're doing this.
Sure.
Between each game, they're like commenting on the strategy they're using by making analogies to how this applies to real-world battlefield troop deployment. Just to prove a point, right? Because there's been that little nagging question of are you actually are you capable? You've said something about strategy and we haven't paid attention to it. So I feel like Mason is trying to show off in this case and be like, also, this is totally a thing that you could do in real life if you had any skill, screw up.
Yeah, and I think Demetrius is talking, but he's keeping it very strictly about the game. If he's talking, he's asking questions.
Mason doesn't have any mercenary experience. You were technically going to be a mercenary, but it never, right?
No, I actually have a 4 years of serving with the Free Company.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so you could mention something about being historically, the Free Company, or we've seen this maneuver before. This is what makes this game so good, kind of thing.
I think I'll do that actually. I'll draw on my knowledge of history also. Yeah.
Are you pushing for a fork?
I think I'm gonna fork strategy and history.
Okay, well
Be
then
like-
you're. Oh, okay, well
Now you can really.
before you do that, you need to roleplay and tell us the story of why this piece moves this way or whatever, right? In the strategy.
Yeah.
You ain't getting that fork unless you say it.
Absolutely, I will. So I think because Mason is arrogant instead of. So here's a question for you. Can I, when I say I want a fork history, I need to make up an event that pertains to
Exactly.
Okay.
Like this reminds me of a time when, blah.
Yeah. All right, cool. I will do that. And I think I know just the sore subject too. This reminds me. See the positioning of your pieces there. I'm just curious because the way we're positioned now sort of mirrors the battle between Tarkin Orlovsky and the free folk of the Upper Ice Realm, as they had a standoff just after the coronation of Chorgal the Conqueror. I don't know that you're aware of this, but the tactical acumen of that gentleman saved the day, indeed, Tarkin Orlovsky. It's a very curious positioning because from what we can see here, you have positioned yourself, I'm hesitant to call it wisely, with some kind of capacity for the game. You're learning. All the same, you are falling into the same trap that they did, namely that you have not seen the attack on the flank coming since I'm signaling attack up the center.
Nice. Oh, that's perfect. Dude, there's something like really good about being able to narrate how you're winning while you do it.
Let's see if I do that because this is gonna be like 1-1.
Yeah, I know, but then this could be like the jujitsu strike when he retorts, right? So
Yeah, that's why I want to see what.
I know. So we have to see what happens with your thrust. Yeah, so honestly, if this was burning, if this was like Torchbearer or something, essentially what you did was a feint, right?
Yeah.
So let's see. Go ahead and make the roll. We didn't say what the obstacle was, but it's versus, so it's
so it's just one.
So now my ob is.
Did you want to burn anything on it? No, you can't.
No, I'm fine.
You have a
now my
wise.
ob is
If you have
ob
a wise,
6.
can't you? Or is that? Am I thinking mouse
I
guard
have-
and stuff?
I have a wise that I could argue would be applicable, but meh.
Oh, wises have to be forked in before.
Oh, that's right. See, yeah, I've been playing so much of the other games that I forget the wises behave a little differently.
Ooh, I'm gonna re-roll that 6.
Yeah, we roll that 6, and then if you tie it, then we go back to another round, or we do the roots. Or
It's,
no, you trait to break a tie.
right.
Oh, look at that! It's so good. Do it!
Oh, re-roll.
Oh my god! Oh my god! You did it!
Oh, it's so close. It's a
Oh.
tie.
It's a tie. You tied him. You tied.
No,
oh my
no,
God.
didn't I
So
get-
strong.
No, it's
No, it's a win because I rolled 2 6s.
Yeah, but you need to roll 2 successes per success to match
yeah.
me.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so it's a tie. You did it. Oh, you still tied him.
Oh, that's so good.
Wait, so
Oh my
no,
God.
so I have 7 successes against an ob 6.
Right, but it gets divided.
Right. So
You would
his-
need 8 successes to be 4 over 3.
Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly.
yeah.
But actually, I want to argue here. Mason's arrogance gets them in trouble here. They did this and they lose out to you because they're being aggressors, right? They're being like, I'm gonna crush you because I know this. That makes you the defender in this case, and victory in the tie goes to the defender.
And I'm predatory, so I'm happy to take advantage of that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. No, that's fair. That's perfect. Yeah. So you one up him.
Yeah, so I think
okay.
while this is resolving, as like Demetrius is playing, he says, it's interesting, Mason. Some might argue that tactics is what won the day for Chorgel and his conquests. I think it was dragons. And that's just like what he says is like he like makes the play that, that
the
lets
rook
him
the rook
win.
fucking comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You take the center and now the flank is exposed instead, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so you know after the game, maybe like he like
Do you win with that maneuver? Are we
Yeah.
saying you win?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
and
yeah.
and
I want to. I hear you offering to roll again, but I want to break the tie in his favor by saying I'm the aggressor, he's the defender, and since it's a versus test, victory goes to the defender in a tie.
Yeah. Okay. But I wasn't sure if the game itself is over or whether or not now Demetrius is at the top, and I think maybe because I'm gonna GM. I'm gonna fiat this here. This is what I'm gonna say. You're at the moment now where you will lose, Mason. Like, there's really not much you can do. My question is, do you surrender right now, or do you like bitterly play out the game? You know what I mean? Like, what do you do now that like he just revealed that to you, right? And just he like, oh, and you're like looking at the board now, and you realize that you just lost.
So I think what Mason does in that moment has like a moment of like their eyes widen and they like their mouth breaks in this wide smile. And they just like they clap their hands like an infant, just like, yay, this is so good. I am completely and horribly entertained. And then they elect to like in their shock and surprise and like being so positively surprised by this. What they do is they play it out. They don't surrender. They, I'm going to do my best to turn it into a Pyrrhic victory.
Yeah.
Just to be like, never as, just to like impart another lesson, which is even though you have like victory in your grasp, never assume.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you know he's doing this. Like he's playing this out.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean I play it out. I think one thing that Mason probably notices as we're playing and as we're playing for longer and longer is that Demetrius is like sort of like fidgeting with like because the chain is still around him, right? And it like seems like it's like chafing him or uncomfortable somehow. And as he sort of lets the game play out as it's getting closer and closer to the end, I think he'll eventually will say Mason, while we're finishing up, I have no time for another game, but I would like to speak for a moment.
Mason flashes, like beams at you extremely positively, in a good mood right now, and it's just like, yeah, go on. What do you want?
Do you remember what you told me at the dance, at the party we attended the other day?
I look apologetic, and I'm like, I'm not sure I do. I've been told I was drunk.
Yeah. He just like sort of nods his head and he says, "You told me that I should see you wearing Orlovsky's colors as a sign that you are working for me and not against me."
Did I? Okay.
Surely, Mason, you must be able to see. And he sort of like gestures to the board. He's like, I'm not a stupid man. Can we agree on that?
I don't think I've ever believed you to be a stupid man.
Then stop trying to treat me like one, Mason.
How do you figure, my lord?
I have no doubt that I could use the power of my voice and my speech to convince people that most any action that most any house takes is actually favorable to me. Just look at what happened to Orlovsky. I don't want allies whose actions I need to twist to serve my purpose. I want allies that work with me to ensure that I don't have to do that.
You describe a very idealistic future, but you will never have that unless the planets align in your favor and you do what no other ruler in the history of rulership has ever done. We don't make alliances with our friends.
It's a good point. But I'm not speaking of alliances between countries, alliances between nations or equals. I'm talking about a relationship between an employer and an employee.
Interesting. Go on.
I would like to make use of your services, Mason. I believe Swan would like to do the same. But we must know that if you're going to take an action like the one you did at the night of the dance, we must know that you are acting in our interests. And it would have been very simple for you to show me that. All you would have had to done was tell me before. I probably would have liked the idea.
What do you mean?
Surely, Mason, you must understand. Wearing the colors of a house sworn against Sertova, it's not...
Really? Is there bad blood between the houses Sotova and Orlovsky?
Mason, let us not play dumb.
I'm looking at my character sheet and I'm not finding politics-wise anywhere, so I'm like...
You have history.
I have history.
I will say
aren't all the houses unified under one crown? Don't you all stand in the shadow of the dragon scale throne?
Of course, Mason.
I don't have a head for politics.
Good. Then let us speak plainly. It is time for you to truly and willfully commit.
Guard your words carefully now, my friend. Swan also made the mistake of asking the fealty of a sorcerer.
I don't ask for fealty. I ask for loyalty. I ask for the same thing that I would ask from anyone who I'm going to work together with.
For such a wise man, you are profoundly narrow of vision. How can you be so myopic? You want my loyalty? You have my loyalty. I consider you a friend. We were on the trail together. Together we took the stronghold of those savages from them and restored order to the Greenbelt. I've known you for, 3 months? I realize that friend is probably not what you want to hear coming from someone who I'm sure you consider a lowborn, but I hold you no ill will. And I consider your presence, at the very least, spiritually fulfilling.
He chuckles a little bit at that. He's going to say, Mason, all I ask is that you not be the wild card in the deck constantly and consistently in this group.
Mason shakes their head, sadly at you, and is like, and looks at you with kind of like a gravity to their gaze, and is like, I have not, in truth, been a practitioner of the craft for as many years as many of the great masters. But if there is one lesson I have learned, it is that the world will never allow me to be anything but a wild card in the deck. It stopped being my decision many years ago.
All I ask, Mason, is that when you make a move that you think will benefit me politically, talk to me about it first. You have professed that you have no understanding of politics. Just remember that every action in New Svetlana is politics. It's the way it works here.
That's a
Are you trying to persuade him? Are you trying to get something out of this? I mean, it's great role playing, and I just want to make sure that,
yeah, no, that's a good question.
Remember, nothing is solidified. You don't get, nothing's solidified unless you make a roll.
It's true. Let's roll for this. I'm willing to
that just sounded like that's the moment when you probably want to see if he gets convinced, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, well, the question is in my mind is it seems like, as far as Mason's concerned, he's already proven his loyalty. So
I'm going to.
But you can mechanically bind him to loyalty by doing this, right?
I'm going to deliberately challenge you here. You say run it through me because everything in New Steadman is politics. And I think Mason's reaction, instead of being what I had initially thought, Mason's reaction is being a bit skeptical and being I don't really know. And then they look at you and there comes a twist in their eyes and they're like, you ask this. I am inclined to give it to you. However, I do insist to get something in return. You mentioned a book in your vaults.
Yeah.
I want it. Facilitate this, give me access to the book, and I might be inclined to agree with you. Now I think we have a test.
So I think, I want to phrase this test right so that I can roll with the way I think it would work. So I think what he says is, what Dimitri says is, oh, Mason, I'm already giving you something. I'm giving everyone something. Keep your eyes on the prize. No actions are without a picture of the goal.
Well,
I need to save all of us, yourself included. And if that means that you must read the holy text, which I believe it does, of course you shall.
Interesting. So, it sounds to me like we have a premise here.
That doesn't sound like you have a role. It sounds like you have an accord. You have an agreement.
I mean, that's fine with me.
Oh,
am I seeing this wrong? You guys in agreement?
No, you have to challenge me. Challenge me.
Yeah.
I need a persona for this, Steve.
Doesn't sound very ambitious of you.
Basically, what I'm trying to convince you of is that you need to listen to me because what I'm doing is saving the world.
Yeah, and Mason hears
yeah.
Mason hears that, and I think on a like base level they agree, but they believe they can wring something from you by being like, I might consent to like running my decisions by you because you asked nicely, but I will need something in return that I totally need and want, and you need to give it to me.
How about this is what it is. Is Demetrius is saying, don't worry, you're going to see the book eventually. And you're like, no, I'm seeing the book now.
Yes, that is exactly it.
Yeah.
Okay, that seems fair. So I'm trying to convince you that, I know what's going on. Just let us play out the plan.
It sounds like
this could be a duel of wits if we really wanted to get gritty, but I think just a versus test.
Yeah, I think so too.
Can you do a bloody conversation? Can you do a bloody conversation where you separate dice into attack defense?
There are no rules for it. You could probably wing it, but
let's just do this. All right, just do versus.
So I was going to use suasion.
Okay, I'm going to. I think what I did was persuasion.
Probably so. So I'm going to use suasion. I'm going to hopefully fork Abadar-wise and probably Doctrine.
I'm not sure about Doctrine. I didn't really hear much Doctrine come out of your mouth.
What about bureaucracy? Because the whole argument is like, you got to know how New Svetlana runs. You got to be careful kind of things that you're saying.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Cool. That could also be etiquette.
Yeah, I have both of those. So,
but it doesn't. We choose. Yeah, it doesn't matter. But one of them. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, that's definitely.
Roll20 is giving me crap right now, so I need to. If I can't get in a moment, someone roll for me.
I'm gonna re-roll those 6s.
Got 5 successes.
I have a literal boatload of fate right now.
That's not. There we go.
Yeah,
326 factorial. Broke roll 20. Yep. Okay, one more. Let's see.
I still have
Mason, it says you're in roll 20 right now.
Yeah, no dice. It's crapping up on me. So I need you to roll just roll my will and throw one persona in the Arthur pool.
Oh, that's weird. Hold on. Oh, there we go. I had to click the top left corner of the die.
Curious.
Oh, oops. Okay. No modifiers, but 1 Artha.
Yeah.
Base 1 uses versus. 2 successes, no 6s.
Cool. And I was rolling against what?
5. So you got crushed.
So for me, for taking the test, is it against your successes or is it against your will?
It's against my will.
Oh, it's not against your raw will. It's against your. It's a versus test, though. You both want something out of it.
If it's a versus test, it's versus the successes.
Okay. Right. Yeah. So it's a routine test.
Yep. Okay. Cool. So, you do not get access to the book. You're going to have to be delayed then, right?
Yeah.
So what does that sound like?
Yeah. So it's sort of like what he just said, and about keeping his eyes on the prize, and then he maybe sort of sees Mason like wavering a little bit to his argument, and he puts his arm on her shoulder, and he says, "Mason, do not worry. I value your expertise in matters of the arcane. You have seen...
As well you should.
You have seen... I told you. I shared with you a secret of the power of this book, you will see it in good time. Just let me make sure that I smooth things over in order to make sure it's easy and quick for you to have access to this text.
Mason looks at you, and they don't look suspicious, right? They look at you like with trust when they say, "Okay, I'll accept that." I'm sure that it's more complicated than I had initially thought. I trust that you will do this for me. I'm going to hold you to your word.
Nice.
Most assuredly. And thank you for the games, Mason.
My pleasure. I hope that we shall have a chance to play more. I have so many more lessons to teach. So much more patience to strain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. That's good. That was a good scene. I think that's probably where you bid farewell. Yeah. Cool. So AP, I have some news for you.
Oh Jesus! All right, let me get my notes out.
You can totally. I'm gonna give you this. This isn't like a scene for you right now. This is just
Okay.
like this is something you find out.
Nope,
And I
got my notes.
This is also something that we all know now. As of last night, Kevin Manning, fell ill.
Interesting.
He was being taken back to we named Manning's house. It has a name.
I do not have that. I mean, I've got the Regarvian Master of Arms, the Raven.
Yeah, no, the location, the name of his castle. But I don't remember what it is. But anyways, Manning's going back to their seat of power.
Now, is this fell ill? Is this like I fell ill? Falkerstone Keep. Holy shit! I did write it down.
Yeah. See, I knew it was there. Thank you. So it's Falker. Yeah. So no one. They don't know. It was like happened at night, and he left by the morning, kind of thing. His son, though. His son is staying. Darren.
Is his son like empowered to
Darren.
do what it like?
Yeah.
They're like, all right, you're my ambassador.
Well, he was already the scion, anyways. Yeah, right. I mean, I think Kevin is pretty old, anyways. Like maybe like 45, 50-ish. You know, like pretty gray, veteran of many conflicts and stuff like that. And he fell ill. He fell ill at night, and I think Darren is probably as old as you, Ronald.
I'm 31, so
yeah. That sounds about right.
I can negotiate with a peer. We'll talk.
You also, I'm also giving you this. Darren is the one who is responsible and has the really good relationship with the Raven.
Okay, the Raven. Well, that's not suspicious. All right. If we're okay with doing it, I'd love for a messenger to show up to request that Mason come see Swan in his rooms.
All right. So
Wow, Sam. Wow.
While you're leaving,
that message also contains a message for Demetrius that I gotta do this etiquette thing. Like it doesn't say exactly this, but the message is I gotta do this etiquette thing later, and I'm gonna really need your help because I haven't been to court in like 2 decades. So try not to embarrass your cousin, man.
You're sending your own Lancel Lannister to be like for patient, squeamish, and like the count is requesting your assistance.
Yeah. I mean, I would just probably, unless you like said that you needed me immediately, I would just like send a letter back that said like at your convenience or something like that.
Yeah. It's not immediately. No, I need Mason immediately.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So that happens. I mean, is there anything you want out of this messenger to them, or I mean, we can just
no. I just wanted to make sure that later, if I have a link test outstanding for the etiquette role, and I don't want it to be a surprise, but I'm like, and Demetrius shows up to help me. I don't want you to be like, well, that seems a little weird. I'm going to be like, but I sent that letter earlier.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah. That's fine. Okay. Yeah. So we move on. We go to.
So when Mason comes in, I'm pouring.
I mean, Mason, you're coming, right? I assume you're coming. Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
I actually never asked you. I was like, yeah, that's fine. Let's go.
Yeah,
I realized I should have. Yeah, sorry. I got
Diagonal wipe
excited.
to
We-
Mason.
listen.
I got a little too excited.
We've spent 2 weeks preparing for this scene.
Yeah.
We hammered out a 3-page long contract of employment.
Oh my god.
Fucking love you guys. All right.
I'm pouring something into some glasses. It's like dark and red, and I'm like, please, Mason, sit down.
Mason smiles at you and like takes a seat wherever you're gesturing.
I mean, we talked about this, but I don't think anybody else has noticed it because no one mentioned it. When you take a sip, it's not what you would suspect. It's not wine or alcohol. It's just fruit juice.
Yeah. Wait a second. Here's a question I have for you.
Okay.
What does your office look like now?
You've
You've had some time to settle in. So what? Like, let's juxtapose this to Demetrius's, right? Let's foil this. What does your place look like?
It's still very austere and stark.
Okay.
But probably we might not suspect I have it, but there is like a collection of Abadarian texts on the bookshelf in between like Ronald Swan's autobiography and on the other bookend it'll probably be like The Art of Making Money.
Yeah, I was gonna say The Wealth of Nations. And whatever like the Chicago or Austrian School of Economics books are, they're all
yeah,
there.
but also what's
I forget
there
the names of those ones.
kind of much
like
less
Hayek
surprising
and all that shit.
is like series of bloodline texts. Like this is the various places in Brevoy, and here's who rules what, and nobility shit for someone who's like, I better brush up on my court skills before I go to court. So I go call the Duke of Umpity the Count of Brenneth.
So like lots of a volume that's like the sigils of the great houses and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Not necessarily heraldry, but to match with my noble court and lord wise.
Yeah,
cool.
These are what I consult my tomes.
I'm totally the audience vehicle in this case. I'm just like going between Demetrius and being like, look at these characters.
Okay.
Yeah. So Mason takes a seat and folds their hands in front of them and like looks at you patiently, but like with optimistic. What's the word? Like they're waiting for you to begin the conversation.
So I throw whatever the medieval version of a manila folder is, probably a leather portfolio, between us, while taking a sip from the cup and walking around the table, and I'm just like, Mason, I'm sure that you did not appreciate being locked up during your hysterical incident. But we have several things to talk about.
I did not appreciate that, Ronald.
I look at you significantly like, yeah, I don't have that instinct anymore, but I will still crush you.
Yeah, I share the look for a moment, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm sorry, I confused you with someone ill-mannered who would lock their guest up. Sorry, I meant, yes, I didn't appreciate that, Count Swan.
Sometimes steps must be taken to ensure that the state survives such rumors. Rumors like a sorcerer running around speaking to rats and besetting a pox upon a guard.
I take it that this is your form of apology. I'm gonna have to get used to it. Let's see.
My form of apology is money and offers of work, real work, not this whatever we've been doing where we walk around each other and you say nice things about me and I empty some of my pocket money towards you.
I mean, there's so much to say.
It's time for us to take our relationship to the next level. You want to be Sorcerer General, then let's be a general.
Let's be honest here. You were the one who called me that to begin with.
But you like it, don't you?
To be Sorcerer General.
I'm looking at you like you like it, don't you? It
I
sounds
won't deny
good.
I like it.
My LinkedIn profile could use that, yes.
Sorcerer Supreme.
But as opposed to you have never heard me insist you address me by my full title. So
You don't have a title without me.
I see.
I have here.
Like I'm like looking at you like you're objectively wrong, but go on.
I understand. Yeah. Listen, we knew this conversation was going to be two hard-headed people. I gesture towards the leather folio and say, I have here letters from the Aldori Academy. I believe you mentioned a Professor Conrad Zenemrizh. I don't speak whatever language his name is from.
Redstoff?
Sure, whatever. They've confirmed that you were educated there and that you have served in a free company for some time satisfactorily and were discharged with honors. I must say, it's not that I questioned you, but I needed to verify the truth. You don't seem one with a head for politics, but you might not realize this, but New Svetlana is full of liars.
I have come to appreciate that recently.
We've been negotiating this contract for some time, but it's time to finalize it. You and I both know all of the key points. Money, titles, all of that's fine with me. But the right to terrorize nobility at your whim, increased access to my resources, the right to call me out in public? I'm not so certain I'll agree with these things out of hand, Mason.
You're getting ahead of yourself, Count Swan. It is far too early to discuss terms when we haven't even decided if you are worthy of my service.
Swan just starts laughing.
Fuck.
Mason stands up at this point. Like, you've been walking around the table. I think Mason stands up and like also walks around the table and like grabs whatever you were pouring yourself and like pours himself a glass of it. And like looks at you. It's a curious thing. You are very much an image of power, as I would imagine nobles envisage themselves. You're rich, you're influential, you're growing richer and more influential. You have the ear of the queen. You are a darling of this court. Your house, though it started meager, is shooting upwards. All the same, there are questions that need answering. I cannot help but be enticed by these ideas that you have placed in front of me. Your plan for the invasion of the South has some worrying points, but is very fascinating and shows a great deal of ambition that I happen to appreciate a great deal.
You do seem an ambitious person, Mason.
Mason shrugs. There's far more to this world than I could ever hope to aspire to. All the same, I need to know some things for certain. A great plan is not enough on its own. You've been called the Chosen One. From what I've seen, I happen to believe there might be something of it. But I need to know for sure that if I go with you, what I will be guiding you on, what I will be aiding you in accomplishing, is not a quick dash to power, but a long journey to righteousness.
Sit down, Mason. I have a story to tell you.
Mason sits down on your desk.
Swan will sit down and put his feet up on the table. I think we're establishing a new power dynamic here. Like,
Yeah.
we're way less casual. I mean, we're way more casual and way less formal. There is a place on Swan lands that we don't talk about. It is passed from heir to heir, father to son, mother to daughter. It is a crystal cave located some measure beneath the earth, a few steps. And on one day a year, the sun passes through the perfect spot to shine down into the center crystal podium and light the entire place up with brightness. And in every other second of that time, when you go into that cave, you see something different. You see reflections of yourself stretched, squashed, pulled apart, almost as if they were mirrors. You want to know if I am worthy of serving. The only question you need to answer is in the reflection you see, am I worthy of your service? here and now? I believe that answer is yes, Mason. I believe that even if you don't believe I'm worthy of service, you know that you can gain great exposure to other great lords and ladies. Ride the swan train, join my court, agree to my terms, and you will get payment not just in monetary riches or in magical discoverances in the Gnarl Marshes, but you will gain exposure and influence of your own.
I just have one question.
God damn it, AP. You're so like reasonable.
What is this train you speak of?
Yeah. I know. That was a little
Wagon train. Yeah.
I know. Look, it's anachronistic, but we're going with it. Let it go. That's good. When you think about it, there are so many things that are so many idioms that are anachronistic for a fantasy. First off, it's a fantasy world, so like, why would they even know half these things? And then, third of all, just we gotta let it go.
Well, we better not shoot from the hip. That's for sure.
I think Mason.
If you ever try to shoot an arrow from the hip, it's really hard.
Yeah,
it can't be done.
Crossbow.
So Mason looks on you as they listen to what you're saying. And in that moment, I'm going to step into the character of Mason. I feel doubt come over me. I am not sure of this. I want him to prove that he is worthy. And I believe I've seen evidence that speak to and against it at the same time. What he's saying now is a curiosity for me. And I think it awakens something in me. It harkens back to something my teacher once said, like a Grandmaster Harkin. And I think when Mason's like looking at you, we hear the words of him spoken like as an overlay to what Mason is saying, and they kind of bleed together, so we can hear it's not Mason's own words, but it's the words of some sagely older gentlemanly voice that says, "Rising above illusion requires greater wisdom than finding truth. So be it. I will aid your cause for now. You will prove yourself worthy in due time, I am sure. I cannot expect perfection from the outset."
Perhaps with your guidance, I'll get there. Now, let's hammer out these terms then.
Yes, let's.
Eric, I think we want to enter a duel of wits, because we definitely we got stakes. We've been working for weeks on these stakes. These steaks are well done and perfectly seasoned with just a little bit of pepper.
All right. Well, we're at the top of the hour, though, so if we're in the Duel of Wits, let's take our first break, and then we'll come back and do more. So we'll be right back, guys. That's good. Good first hour, everyone. That was fun. Good scenes.
You always have to pay people
guys,
exposure, right?
We have some... Well, it's not just exposure, but yeah. That was really good. That was really good.
Strong opener.
Yeah. All right, we'll be back in 5 minutes.